Hello, wait, I gotta do this. I gotta make this weird. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jurassic Park. How y'all doing today? And welcome to this. I can't. But hello, everybody, and welcome to this inaugural thingy that I'm doing. I don't know exactly what this is going to be, whether it's going to be like a limited series or actually like a full-blown mess of stuff. I don't know. Maisie, get down. You can't see it, but my cat is trying to figure out what's going on with my. Let me see if I can get a picture of her and what she's doing right now, and then I'll put it up right now. That's what she's doing right now. I've got 3 cats, and I've got them all trapped in this little room with me because my wife is sleeping right now, and if they are left to their own devices, they will go and they will be crying at the door because they want to get in to be with her. So this should be an interesting recording experience. Actually, I already recorded this episode, if you will, once already, but I didn't like the way it turned out. The audio quality was terrible because I was trying to have the microphone hidden, so I actually had it way above me, kind of like a boom microphone, but it ended up sounding really crappy, and the lighting was pretty crappy. It's probably not much better now, but I did turn on some more lights in here, and also I just looked a little bit too chubby. And yes, in case you're wondering, Jurassic Park is probably one of the stupidest names for anything that I've ever come up with, and that is exactly why it is the name of this show. So, one of the things I want to do with this show, I've never done anything like this before, but is talk about Jurassic Park, but not just that, also talk about my interest in dinosaurs in general as a subject, but also share with you some of my memorabilia, my collectibles, which you can already see. I'm waiting for the moment when my Thrasher Tyrannosaurus is going to bow down because his leg joints are a little bit too slippery, and so he doesn't quite stand for very long. Usually after a few minutes he just kind of topples over. Yeah, eventually I want to get to a point where I'm kind of showing off some of the collectibles that I have and that I'm acquiring, and do videos as I'm getting stuff, because as I put on Facebook earlier last month, I decided that I wanted to become a Jurassic Park collector of a collector of Jurassic Park merchandise, let me put it that way. And so I've already got tons of stuff just in the last month, and I've got more stuff in the mail coming. One of the things I'm really excited about getting is the exclusive limited edition John Hammond figure from SDCC. I was luckily enough able to snag one from entertainmentearth.com before they all sold out, and they sold out extremely quickly with just in a few days. I haven't received it yet. It's supposed to ship this month. Hopefully that happens. I've had some bad experiences with Entertainment Earth in the past, but I'm very excited about getting that one. And I've got some other vintage stuff on the way, and you can see some of the stuff behind me. A shirt. Both of these shirts I think are actually from Universal Studios. I've never actually been there, unfortunately. And I'm especially angry about that because I never got a chance to go there before they tore down the classic ride and replaced it with a new one. But yeah, we will get into that another time, and about my interesting relationship with Jurassic World. But for this specific introductory episode, I thought it would be kind of fun to give a little, introductory about my love of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs and sort of my history with that, because I have a pretty interesting history with specifically Jurassic Park. I've talked before on this channel about how I have anxiety, and I've always had it to some degree or another. Even when I was a little kid, it's pretty much been a part of my life as far back as I can remember. Interestingly enough, what it did was, in some ways, it kind of stunted my maturing. What I mean by that is, okay, for instance, Jurassic Park used to scare me to death. Jurassic Park and The Lost World used to scare me to death when I was little. I have always loved dinosaurs, and I love the ideas of these movies, and I was usually fine watching them during the day, but at nighttime, I would just be a wreck. I wouldn't be able to get to sleep. And interestingly enough, because of my anxiety, I actually kept this fear until I was almost 20 years old. That is not an exaggeration. And then, interestingly enough, what happened was, once I got into my 20s, my fear flipped around into this really great enthusiasm for this franchise, and it's just kind of blossomed since then. Actually, I remember it was 2001 when Jurassic Park 3 came out, and it was kind of a turning point for me because I had seen the trailers and I was very interested. And I remember going out for breakfast with my parents, and they knew that I had, these anxiety issues, and I said, I think I'm ready. I think I'm interested to see Jurassic Park 3 in the theater, and I think I feel ready to do this. And so my dad and me actually went to see it together, and I loved it. I thought it was great. One of the reasons I loved it so much is actually, funnily enough, one of the reasons why I don't like it as much anymore, and that's that it's a bit tamer than the first two. It's not quite as intense and thrilling. But to this day, one of the main things that I still love about it is the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus, this guy right here, or girl rather, is actually my favorite dinosaur, all because of that movie. My cat is playing with a toy. And to this day, the Spinosaurus aegypticus is still my favorite dinosaur, all because of that movie. But from that point on, that's when I was really able to sort of conquer my fear, and I started really enjoying this franchise. And then just as I've gotten older each year, I find something more about the franchise in general. Kind of big old cat hair on my head. Something more about this franchise that I really love, and my love for it just grows with each year. And this year, what's been interesting for me is that it's gone beyond just Jurassic Park, and it's gone into dinosaurs as a whole. Like I said, I've always loved dinosaurs. One of my earliest memories is my sister gave me a toy of a T-Rex. It wasn't the one from Jurassic Park. It was just some generic, like probably a dollar store T-Rex. And I remember I opened it up. We have pictures of it somewhere. I opened up the wrapping paper, and there was just this big mouth, right there. And I screamed, and I threw it across the room. I had to do the motion in case you didn't know what throwing entails. So I threw it across the room, and yes, I was very freaked out by it. And then a few minutes later, someone brought it back to me. And then over the next few minutes, I was able to work past my fear, and it ended up becoming one of my favorite toys of all time. Partly because I actually felt bad. Even though I was really little, I was probably like 6 or 7, if that, at the time. And I felt bad for my sister that I had, gotten scared of something she had given me. So I gave it another chance, and then, it ended up becoming one of my favorite toys. I don't have it anymore. I wish I still did. It would be awesome to have that. But, I've always had this fascination with dinosaurs. I mean, what little kid doesn't, to some degree? And, but what's interesting is that I distanced myself from dinosaurs and things like an interest in dinosaur paleontology as I was getting older, because at least to me, there is this kind of odd understanding in our culture that it's a little kid thing, that loving dinosaurs and even loving things like Jurassic Park or Star Wars — I'm a big Star Wars fan — and Star Trek, these things are very childish, and you're supposed to grow out of them and then get to a point where, you're just watching football or basketball or wrestling, and that becomes your new fandom. And I unfortunately I bought into that. There's this kind of weird, stigma is kind of a strong word, but there is just this weird kind of unspoken understanding that things like dinosaurs are for little kids, and you're not really supposed to do anything with that as you get older. But it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, you think about paleontologists obviously aren't little kids, they're all adults who grew up loving dinosaurs, and now they live out that love of dinosaurs. And I mean, even Jurassic Park, it wasn't made by kids, it was made by adults. So it's like, it really, I don't know where this weird understanding came from, but it's kind of ingrained. It was at least ingrained in me, not by my family. It really was more just like a just the air almost. But this year specifically, I've hit a point where I'm realizing that that's really stupid, and it doesn't have to be like that. Why is it like that? And so, you know, as I'm really loving on Jurassic Park, this year I've been much more active in my just general dinosaur and paleontology enthusiasm. And I'm excited about it. Like I've been kind of obsessing over it, just because it's like I've gotten to a point where I feel free enough to be able to, you know, pursue this love and this enthusiasm, because I'm breaking beyond these weird expectations that, you know, I'm supposed to grow out of this. And so I've been getting into some exciting things. I've actually been listening to some podcasts, specifically one called I Know Dino by a couple named Garrett and Sabrina. They're such dorks. I love them. They're so dorky, but I just love them, and you can tell they really love what they're doing. And they interview paleontologists almost every episode, and it's just, I really get a kick out of it. It's a great show. It's a fun show, and they are also big Jurassic Park fans. So that's also, I mean, you could say what dinosaur lover isn't, but there are some out there. There are some dinosaur enthusiasts and paleontologists out there who are like,
well, Jurassic Park it's not accurate, so it's poopy.
But, you know, rightly so. Sabrina and Garrett and me and others like me, there's actually a lot of us dinosaur enthusiasts or paleontologists who still love the movies, even despite some of the inaccuracies, because that's just it. They are movies. They are science fiction films. And then, of course, you have, you know, sort of the retconning that they've done in the Jurassic World franchise of the reason why these dinosaurs are so different than what we understand dinosaurs to actually be like. Things like feathers or proto-feathers and stuff like that. The reason they don't have those is because they have been modified. And, you know, that's fine. But I didn't really need that retcon. But yeah, these people really love Jurassic Park. So that's one of the things I love about their show, is that almost every paleontologist they interview on the show, they'll ask them, you know, what are your thoughts on Jurassic Park? And so far, they have yet to interview one that actually didn't like at least the first one. And then I've also been watching some interesting videos like on YouTube or documentaries and stuff like that. Actually, I just watched an interesting TED Talk by Jack Horner, who was the main dinosaur/paleontologist consultant for Jurassic Park, who was pointing out something interesting, that there actually are a lot less dinosaur species than we originally thought, because people have not taken into consideration that these couple of dinosaurs that look a lot alike might actually be the same dinosaur, but it's just at different stages in its life. One of the examples he gives is there's three, well, at least there were three species. One was called Pachycephalosaurus, who pretty much everyone's familiar with, or Friar Tuck if you're Roland Tembo from The Lost World. And then there's the Stygimoloch, and then there's the Dracorex. And it's been thought that these were three separate dinosaur species, but as it turns out, I don't know why I'm saying species. I
English goodly for too good to have to speak.
It was originally understood that these were three different species, but Jack Horner actually discovered that they are actually the same dinosaur, just at different stages of its life. I believe the Dracorex is the youngest version. then the Stygimoloch is like the young adult or teenager, and then Pachycephalosaurus is the adult form, and they are the same dinosaur. Just there's some interesting stuff out there, and I love Jack Horner. Jack Horner especially is someone that I'm very interested in, and he's got a lot of good stuff out there. Also, I just picked this up from the Barnes & Noble. This is Dinosaurs: The Grand Tour by Kieran Pym. I got it because I actually heard about it on the I Know Dino podcast, because they interviewed Kieran Pym on there. And it was in Britain first. It was published in Britain under the title, I think it was called The Bumper Book of Dinosaurs. And it was only available in England for the longest time. And then finally it's come to the US, which I'm very excited about. And I think one of the things that interests me the most, it's funny, it's actually the thing that a lot of people haven't liked it for, but I like it for, is that there are some color illustrations in here, but by and large, it's actually silhouettes. And or if there is more than that, if it's not just a silhouette, it's a grayscale or black and white sketch. And I actually really like that because, and this is one of the reasons also that Kieran Pym gave why he did it that way, is because we don't really know what most of these dinosaurs looked like. And so it's kind of better to do just a silhouette or black and white or whatever, because our understanding of what they looked like changes all the time. And so it's like, instead of doing it color or full-blown illustration and then suddenly it's outdated, a year later, why not just make them silhouettes? And, if you want to see some ideas of what they look like, hey, there's this beautiful thing called the intranet. So I got that from Barnes & Noble. I'm very excited about it. So I'm reading through that right now. I'm also reading through the Making of Jurassic Park by Don Shea and Jody Duncan, which I got this, and I got The Making of the Lost World just a couple weeks ago. For a total of $15. They are used. They're not in the best condition, but I just wanted to have them. So those are things that I've been reading right now. So yeah, basically, I'm at a stage where I am trying to embrace this side of me and not be ashamed of it, not be embarrassed of it, because it really is. With most fandoms, I would say it's really stupid when you've got people saying, well, that's something you're supposed to grow out of. Maybe there are some that are kind of questionable. I don't know. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but it's just, I really think it's stupid how we really do have this weird association between things like dinosaurs, or Jurassic Park, or Star Wars, or these different things, and these are childish things, and you need to grow up, and you need to drink beer and watch football, and that's what it means to be an adult. Yeah, so this year I am doing my best to sort of come out of that feeling, separate my love of all this stuff from that feeling of, oh, I'm supposed to keep this hidden. I'm supposed to be ashamed of this, and I shouldn't be really open about this stuff, because it's just, screw it, This is a thing that I love. Jurassic Park is probably the thing that I love the most, even more than Star Wars and Star Trek. Jurassic Park and Star Wars in general, Jurassic Park and dinosaurs in general just are a thing that I have always loved more than anything else, and I'm only just recently coming to a place where I feel comfortable with being more open about that. And so it's kind of exciting in a way, and it's, we have a lot more resources on dinosaurs and a lot more resources on Jurassic Park and stuff like that now than we ever have. So this really is a good time for me to get into it. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of background on this, and I'll go into more details about some of that stuff later, like my battle of anxiety and fear with Jurassic Park and how it turned around, and just how interesting it is that I grew up so scared of this franchise, and now it's like it's completely done a 180, and now I'm pretty obsessed over it. And I've got some fun ideas for, I don't have a display case for my stuff yet, but like I said, I've already got tons of stuff, so I need to get something set up soon. And I've got some cool ideas for how I want to design it and make it look all Jurassic Park-ish. Also, I just got this today. My wife and I went to the New Jersey State Museum, and they did have some dinosaur fossils there, which was pretty cool. I'll throw up some pictures. There you go, I threw up some pictures. And I also picked this thing up. This is a dinosaur skull dig kit, which I thought was pretty cool. You can see what it's going to look like, but basically, I'll just open it up real quick. I haven't opened it up yet, but based on what it says, oh wow, that's actually very cool. It's like a big block of plaster, and the Tyrannosaurus skull is in there, and they give you like a little kit of digging thingies, and then you've got this little plaque here that the skull will sit on once you have it taken out. So that's actually probably something I will do in one of the next videos, is actually dig into this thing and put it together, because I think that will be fun. But yeah, I mean, we went to the museum, and every time I go and see these fossils, I never cease to be amazed with just how big they are. I mean, I just talked about this online today, just that, when I see dinosaurs, pictures of dinosaurs like Triceratops or Edmontosaurus or Hadrosaurus, I just have it in my mind that they're not much bigger than buffaloes, but really it's like a Triceratops is like as big as this room. And, even a Hadrosaurus or an Edmontosaurus, big as this room. And it's like they were huge, and that alone is just something that really fascinates me. And I love going to museums where they have fossil displays or castings of fossils, and just looking at this thing and just imagining, or just thinking, this thing was alive at one point and walking around, and what in the world? So I'm excited to see where things go with this little series I'll be doing. And like I said, I'll be doing different things like unboxing of merchandise when I get it. I'll probably do a video of me doing that little dig kit thing, because that looks pretty cool. And I will also be showing off the material that I already have, the merchandise that I already have. Some of it is stuff that I've had for years since I was a kid, and a lot of it is newer stuff that I've just gotten within the last year or so. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where things go, and if you're a fellow dinosaur or Jurassic Park enthusiast, I hope that you will stick with me through this journey into the wonderful world of dinosaurs and Jurassic Park. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this, please hit that like button. If you want to be updated whenever new videos come out, hit that subscribe button, that bell button, and let me know what you thought down in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. I am not a dinosaur expert, not yet. Hopefully I can get sort of there. I really am in a lot of ways just starting out. And, the information that we have now is a lot different than what we had when I was a kid and, unabashedly into dinosaurs. So it's like I'm kind of having to relearn a lot of stuff. But yeah, hope you'll stick with me, and I hope you enjoy what I've got in store. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.